Hi, this is Brass Check, and I'm going to read you an article that's of great importance, and it's called Fragrance is the New Secondhand Smoke. Some of you may already know what I'm talking about. Others may be perplexed, but hang in there. It's important. Hundreds of studies over the last 2 decades are finding, quote, fragrance in beauty products and household cleaners are just as bad or worse for our health than secondhand smoke. Is it time for fragrance-free workplaces, hotel rooms, and sections in restaurants? Before I go ahead, I can tell you that the Centers for Disease Control understand this, and they have a policy that applies to all of their offices and all of their employees, and that's thousands of people. And fragrances are frowned upon. Air fresheners are forbidden from any Centers for Disease Control office. So they know how bad this stuff is for people, and somehow they're not telling us, but this article is. Fragrance is the new secondhand smoke. So here we go. It took decades for the workplace to acknowledge the deadly effects of exposure to secondhand smoke, write researchers in a 2009 meta-analysis of the studies of fragrance titled Fragrance in the Workplace is the New Secondhand Smoke. But once the dangers were finally public, it only took a few years before smoke-free workplaces were enacted across the nation. When a few people began complaining about secondhand smoke in the 1960s, a time when nearly half of Americans smoked, the general public and businesses considered it a fringe movement and not likely to go anywhere. But by 1985, smoke-free city ordinances began popping up, and by 2007, 30 states had passed comprehensive smoke-free laws. So it actually took quite a while. People started complaining in the 60s, and nothing got done until 25 years later. The average American consumer is as uneducated about the dangers of synthetic fragrances as the average American was to the dangers of secondhand smoke in the 1960s. These dangers include chemicals that are known neurotoxins, carcinogens, endocrine disruptors, DNA mutagens, garden variety allergens, hepatotoxins, that's liver toxic, and reproductive toxins, all hidden under the simple ingredient label fragrance. And here's where it gets deep. Manufacturers of beauty and cleaning products don't have to disclose the hundreds of potential chemicals that could be used to make their fragrances because they are considered, quote, trade secrets, unquote, by the FDA. So let's rewind the tape on that a little bit. So you're putting this stuff on your skin, which makes it go directly into your blood, straight to your liver. You're spraying it in the air, goes right into your lungs, straight into your blood, straight to your liver. And these manufacturers don't have to tell you what it is because it's a trade secret. Around 90% of the chemicals included in the label, quote, fragrance are synthesized from petroleum or coal tar. Toxic chemicals commonly found in products with fragrance on the ingredients list include acetone, phenol, and I don't know how to pronounce this, I should, toluene, benzyl acetate, limonene, I don't know, you look it up, and formaldehyde. So imagine that. These companies are able to put known toxins into products that go in your lungs and on your skin, and they're able to hide it under the banner of trade secrets. If you want to protect yourself and the people around you, and I hope you do, because it won't kill you the first day, or the second day, or the first month, or the first year. But over time, you'll find yourself with a superabundance of toxins in your bloodstream, in your liver, in your fat, in other organs, and they're not good for you. So if you want to protect yourself, if you see the word fragrance as an ingredient on anything, that means it is chemical and it's probably toxic. And you'll never know exactly what it is because the law allows these companies to put whatever they want into something called a fragrance and keep that ingredient secret because it's a trade secret. Great system we've got. By the way, there's a lot of products that are sold in the United States that you would go to jail for if you sold them in Europe or Japan or Canada. A 2008 analysis of 6 top-selling laundry products and air fresheners found nearly 100 volatile chemicals were emitted from the products, and 5 of the 6 products emitted 1 or more carcinogenic hazardous air pollutants, which the EPA considers to have no safe exposure level. Okay, let's rewind the tape on that. Laundry soap, we all use it. The 6 top brands and air fresheners were found to have 100 different volatile organic chemical compounds. And 5 of these 6 top products, the ones that millions of people use, emitted 1 or more carcinogenic hazardous air pollutants, which the EPA considers to have, and I wish I could underline this in red, no safe exposure level. This stuff's, like any amount of it is bad, and it's in your laundry soap. Thank you very much, Procter & Gamble. A 2017 Australian study found synthetic fragrances trigger respiratory problems such as coughing and shortness of breath in 1 out of 5 people, and migraines in 1 out of 10. So if you're getting migraines or headaches, or someone you know is, it may be because some idiot has air freshener plugged into the wall. By the way, Center for Disease Controls does not allow this in their workplaces. They also tell their employees that cologne and perfume are considered unprofessional, and it is highly frowned upon to wear those to work. This should be a policy in every office. Another 10% experience rashes or other skin problems when exposed to these synthetic fragrances. And 8%, which isn't huge, but if we're talking about every working person in America, it's tens of millions of people, 8% say they've missed work or lost a job due to a fragrance-related illness in the workplace. 8% of Americans say they've missed work or lost a job due to fragrance-related illness in the workplace. A 2016 study found that 1/3 of Americans report adverse health effects when exposed to artificial fragrances. Breathing problems such as hay fever and asthma found in 15 to 20% of North Americans are also exacerbated by synthetic fragrance. People with multiple chemical sensitivity can have even more severe reactions, making it difficult for them to hold a job or even go out in public. What makes fragrance even more insidious than secondhand smoking is the difficulty in detecting it. If you're sensitive to cigarettes, you could walk in the other direction when you see a cloud of smoke or someone holding a cigarette on the street. With fragrance, it's hard to identify where it might be coming from until it's too late. Some fragrance products are designed to be slow release so that people wearing them continue to emit a bubble of toxins for hours and days to come. Lovely. Plus, they're in everything, so they're difficult to avoid. Products that typically have, quote, fragrance chemicals in them include lotion, hairspray, shampoo, conditioner, deodorant, aftershave, hand soap, body soap, mouthwash, dental floss, toothpaste, cosmetics, nail polish and removers, no surprise there, sunscreen, diapers, isn't that lovely, powder, laundry detergents, fabric softener, dish soap, air freshener, potpourri, candle, and household cleaners. When ignorance is replaced with knowledge, a large segment of the population will respond with a demand for clean and safe air in the workplace. DeVader and Barker write. The paradigm shift is already beginning as an increasing number of clinics, schools, public buildings, buses, and workplaces have declared their institutions fragrance-free. After many of the public and private organizations in Nova Scotia, Canada, went fragrance-free, perfume sales dropped over 30%. Fragrance cost employers billions of dollars in lost productivity, sick time, and lawsuits, the researchers note. Until the laws are passed, they recommend business owners post signs in bathrooms and around buildings requesting employees not wear fragrance to work. We can guess and imagine that the fragrance makers are going to, create a popular uprising demanding the right to wear toxic cologne in the workplace, just like they did with cigarettes. Anyway, concerned consumers should look for products labeled fragrance-free or that simply don't list fragrance on the ingredients list, as products labeled unscented can still contain artificial fragrances used to mask the smell of other noxious chemicals. So wind that one back, all right? So if the product says fragrance-free, you might be safe. If they don't list fragrance on the ingredient list, it might be safe. But you have to be careful if it says unscented, and it's possible that all those free and clear labels in the supermarket fall into this category. They can still contain fragrances. And what are the fragrances used? Well, they're used what fragrances are always used for. They're used to mask noxious chemicals. As for household cleaners, baking soda and white vinegar work better. Let me say it again. Work better than just about any product on the market and are cheaper and non-toxic. So this is a lot we can do. You may not personally be suffering from this, but there are millions of people who are. And you can improve your health. You can improve the health of those around you by being aware of this stuff. And you can search the web and you can find fragrance-free shampoos and fragrance-free soaps and fragrance-free everything. And as they point out at the very end of this, if it's cleaning that you need to do, baking soda is going to do a better job than any toxic chemical. There's also, two other things to think about here. Think about the poor people that work in the factories that make this stuff, right? And then think about the incredible environmental damage it does to manufacture this stuff and transport it. We don't need it. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry, and a lot of people are getting rich off it, and the bankers are collecting their interest payments on it, and they love it. But we should be wise, and we should get this stuff out of our lives.